In this beginner's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a WordPress blog step by step. And we're not going to create a super fancy blog that's really intimidating for someone who's just starting out. We're going to create a simple blog that you can complete today, that you can start adding content to today or tomorrow and start generating traffic. And after this video, I'm going to publish a whole series of videos showing you how to enhance this blog with Google Analytics, with A/B split testing, with landing pages, with opt-in forms, with monetization, all the things you need to actually make money and grow an online business from a blog like this. And I'm going to try to do it in a way that's not overwhelming. That's going to be difficult because there is a lot of stuff to learn, but I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible because you can always improve later. Just get something out the door, get started, and improve as you go. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below this video. I try to answer them the best I can. My name is Bjorn Allpass from WPLearningLab. We help you get better at WordPress so you can earn more for yourself, for your customers, and for your business. If you've not done so yet, make sure to click subscribe and ring the bell, and let's get started. If you're following along this video but you don't have a domain name or hosting account yet, just click the link in the description down below. It will take you to SiteGround, which is where I host all my websites, and it will take you to this page. Or if it doesn't take you to this page, just go to hosting and then go to WordPress hosting, and then you get to this page. And this is where you buy hosting, and you can buy domain names here as well. A domain name is your web address. For example, siteground.com is the domain name of this hosting company. So your website needs a domain name as well, otherwise people cannot find it on the internet. And hosting is where all the files are stored. So you have a domain name where people find your website, but then the content of your website is stored on a hosting account. And that's the service that SiteGround provides. And you can also buy domain names here, and you can choose a hosting plan. Now these hosting plans are almost always on sale for the first purchase. I'll tell you what that means in just a minute. But this one, for example, is $3.95 a month, regular, $12 a month. And if you just have one website, you're just starting out, this is all you need. So $3.99 a month is very reasonable, and SiteGround is a great host with awesome features. And 10,000 monthly visitors is a long ways to go. So when you're starting out, it's going to take you a long time to get there. And if you do end up outgrowing this plan, it's really easy to upgrade. It's one-click upgrade in your back end, in your SiteGround account. Super simple. So for today, we're going to get the startup plan. We're going to type in the domain name that you found earlier. Hopefully you found one. I'm just going to call mine, let's build a new website. I don't think this one's taken. I haven't double checked. But if you find a domain name on Domain Wheel up here, these are ones that have not been taken. So you can just copy and paste those right into here. Make sure you pick whether it's a .com or .net, .org or .directory, .estate or whatever it is. Make sure you pick that from this drop down here. And then it shows here domain registration is $16 per year. It's pretty average. Click on proceed. Now we come to this page, shows this domain name as available, so that's good. And now I'm just going to fill out this form with my email, my billing info, credit card number, and then we'll get into this after I fill out the form. So I'll be right back. I fill out the form above, including my billing info and address info. And now we pick our plan. We have startup, which we picked earlier. We can choose our data center if we want to. You should pick the one that's closest to you. I'm in Canada, so the USA data center is closest to me. If you live in a different part of the world, make sure you pick the one that's closest to you. That just makes it so that your website loads faster locally in your local area. And the period is how long you want to register for. And the trick here is this $3.95 a month is valid for your registration period. So if you order for 12 months, you get $3.95 a month for 12 months. After 12 months, it's $12. If you go for 36 months, you get the $3.95 for 3 years instead of 1 year. And after that, it's $11. So pick the one you want. Definitely don't pick 1 month because that's really expensive for 1 month. But if you're going to have a website long term, why not choose the longest term one and have the greatest discount for the hosting? It only makes sense. So now we have our hosting services picked out. Our domain registration here is $16. We can add in domain privacy. That means that your information will not be in what's called the Whois database. Any domain name that's purchased, whoever purchased it or the company that purchased it is visible through the Whois database. And if you buy this privacy protection, it's not visible. It'll look like SiteGround bought the domain and not you. So that is important if you want to have some more privacy. I usually don't check that. I also don't use the SG Site Scanner. It's helpful for detecting malware and things like that, but I use other tools for that, so I'm not going to choose that. But if you want to have the scanner to protect yourself from malware, feel free to add that in for 20 bucks a year by checking this box. And now we have to confirm some things. The first one we have to confirm. The second one we don't have to. This is just special offers and emails they want to send you. You can say yes or no. It's up to you. Then we click on Pay Now. Now it's going to process, and we're going to receive some emails that are going to be very important. So we're going to log into my email account in just a minute to see those new emails from SiteGround. I believe there are 3 of them, and they're all quite important. I'll walk through each of them. So the account's been created. We can click on Proceed to Customer Area. And now I'm going to start a new website since that's what we're doing here today. I'm going to click on WordPress. I'm going to add my email address. I'm going to create a username. Let's say that. Here, so it's not long enough, so let's make it a little longer. Make my full name. The password, I'm going to use a password generator for that. And that one's only medium. Add an exclamation. There we go. Okay. Now we have a strong password. I recommend you have a strong username and a strong password just because that's good for your website security. Then I will click on Confirm. And here we can add domain privacy again if we want to for $12. SG Scanner again if we want to for $20. So if you didn't add them before, it's going to ask you again. You can choose those or not choose those. I'm going to not choose them. Click on Confirm. Going to check this box and then click on Complete Setup. Our hosting account is ready to use. So click on the big green button to proceed to the customer area. And now we have the home page. This is what you first see when you log into your SiteGround account. You can see your accounts under My Accounts. This is where we're going to see our domains. There's our new domain name right there. And believe it or not, WordPress is already installed. And this site is actually live. If we copy and paste this domain into a new tab, there's going to be something there. It does not look very nice right now because it's just a plain WordPress install. We're going to fix that in a few minutes. But we have a site live on the internet. Only took 10 minutes. So you can email your mom and let her know you've got a site online, which is awesome. And we're going to go to WP-admin. So we have our website domain name followed by a / and then WP-admin. Hit enter, and it's going to take us to a login page. This is where we enter the username and password we created in the form just a minute ago. So my username was Bjorn Allpass. My password was this. Then I'm going to click on Login. Now we can go to the SiteGround setup wizard to create a WordPress site. We're not going to do that in this video. I'm going to click on Exit, and we're going to go into the dashboard for the WordPress site. Now we come to a custom dashboard. This looks a little bit different than most other WordPress dashboards you've probably seen in some tutorials. This is a SiteGround specific dashboard. You don't really use it for very much, so the way it's designed isn't really too important. Now we have to go back into a SiteGround area and take a look at those emails I told you about earlier. Here it says pending verification, and we do that through our email account. So I'm just going to log into my email. The verification email they sent us, we need to click on this link right here to verify our domain. So here we are, we're at the verification page. Just have to verify this information is correct, and we click on Verify Information. And yay, we're verified. Now if we come back here and refresh, this may take a minute to update, or a few minutes. It's not updated yet, but we are verified. So that's good. We can close this tab, and we can close this email because we've done that. This email is important information about your new hosting account. Login buttons, set up your website, complete your domain verification. We did that just now. This is information to read through if you want to read through it. It's not really that important. You bookmark the user area, remember your password, and that's really all there is to it. And this email is your sales receipt, has all the important info about your purchase, so keep that in a safe place. Now that we've gone through all the emails, we've verified our domain name and our information, we're now ready to build out that website that I showed you at the very beginning of this tutorial. This is our brand new WordPress site right here. There's some demo data inside the site that we're going to delete in just a minute, and we're going to install a new theme, and we're going to add a blog to that theme, and you're going to be able to add content within the next few hours. Your first blog post can be online in the next few hours, which is pretty awesome. The point of this tutorial is not to create the perfect blog for a couple of reasons. One of them is I could create this fancy blog with all these bells and whistles and all these awesome features and these cool designs, but it becomes very intimidating for someone who's building their very first blog. So I'm going to keep this as simple as possible so you can get your blog online and start creating content for it. More important than the design is the content. If your content solves a problem that your audience has, they're not too worried about how it looks. So we're going to make it look clean and nice, and we're not going to go over the top. So hopefully you won't be intimidated by the process and you can get started right away. I also know a lot of people who want to have things perfect on the first day. And perfect is like tomorrow. It never arrives. There's always new technology, there's new plugins, there's new bells and whistles to add, and a finished website never arrives. There's no such thing. So you need to focus just on getting it online and adding content to it and improving it as you go, trying to make it better for your users. And perfect is not our goal. Our goal is creating content and getting traffic and getting your message out there, whatever that message is, changing people's lives and hopefully making an income for you. That's enough of my rant. Let's get started. I'm going to go into the dashboard and we are going to clean out our demo data. Under posts, this is where we create our blog posts in the near future. We have a hello world post. It's going to trash this. It's also a privacy policy page. Trash that for now. Go to pages. There's a privacy policy page and a sample page. I'm going to check these two boxes and choose move to trash from the bulk actions. Click on apply. It goes in the trash can. And after you trash something, it goes into a trash bin for the posts and the pages. If you go here, you can see them again. You can restore if you want to. You can also select them all in empty trash if you want to. If you do neither of those things, these will disappear within 30 days. So you can just leave them here if you want until then. Under comments, we have a demo comment. I'm going to trash that one. Under plugins, we have Akismet, which is an anti-spam plugin, and Hello Dolly. We don't need either of these on our site, so I'm going to select them both and go to delete under bulk actions. If they're activated for some reason, Hello Dolly might be activated for you. Then we just have to click on deactivate first. You cannot delete an activated plugin. You have to deactivate the plugin first. Then we can select them all and go to delete, apply, and erase them. Under users, it should be just your user, the one that you created the site with. And under settings, something very important we want to do is change our time. So your time zone, whatever that may be, choose your time zone here. You can choose the nearest major city. You can also choose the UTC timestamp if you prefer that. You can choose the date format. This will appear on your blog posts when you publish them. It'll show the months of the year and timestamps as it's shown here. And you can choose which day your week starts on. And under permalinks, the most important thing we do here is make sure we have selected post name as our permalink style. Right here, post name. Click on Save Changes. Adding dates in there is not relevant unless you have a news site where you publish a lot of news content, and it's important that people know the exact date it was published. If you publish content that is good forever, entertainment content or teaching content where the subject matter doesn't change very frequently, it's great to just have post name. It's better for SEO that way. And that's all we're doing right now for our blog cleanup. Now we're going to install the theme we want. I'm going to go to Appearance and then Themes. And we see we have the 2020 theme installed. You may have others installed as well that aren't active, like 2019, 2018, 2016. We can delete all of those. I'll show you how in just a minute. First, you're going to add a new one. Let's go to Add New, and we're going to look up Astra. This is a very fast theme, well-coded theme. This theme's installed on over 1 million websites. That doesn't mean all those sites look the same. It just means that this is the infrastructure those sites are built on. They pretty much all look different. But the infrastructure of this theme is great, and that's why I use it. Click on Install to install it, and then Activate to turn it on. And now we can go to other themes, like this one here. Click on Theme Details and choose Delete in the bottom corner. We don't need those old themes. Our active theme always shows up on the far left side, and we can delete every other one. We can always reinstall them later if we want to, but we don't need all those themes cluttering up our site. Just the one that we're using. And with Astra, we can install demo content. Let's go to Astra Options. There's a paid version of Astra as well, which you don't need. The free version of Astra is all we're going to use for these tutorials, and it's more than enough. But if you do want the paid version of Astra, there's a link in the description down below this video to check it out. It is an affiliate link. If you do end up purchasing through that link, I do get a small commission. It does not make it more expensive for you. It's just that Astra sends me a small commission to refer you to them. And I also have a tutorial series, a whole playlist on the free version of Astra and the paid version of Astra, all the features that come with it. So check for that link in the description down below as well. There's a call to action over here for importing a starter template, which is what we want to do. I'm going to click on Install Imported Plugin, and this is now installing the plugin for us, and then we can search for demo sites that we can install and then customize. We can choose to use a page builder as the basis for the sites. Gutenberg is installed by default. So if you just installed WordPress and you haven't done anything else, choose Gutenberg. If you want to use a page builder, which makes editing easier, you can choose Elementor, which has a free version, or Brizy, which has a free version, or Beaver Builder, which I believe is paid only. I'm going to choose Elementor because it's the most popular one at the moment and likely one you will be using already or will want to use in the near future. As you can see, there's lots of templates, and there's one that I saw. It's a health related one that I want to use for this video. See if we can find it here. And anything that doesn't have the agency label is free. Like this one, for example. This is the one we're going to use. I'm going to click on here. We can look through the pages again, and we're going to look at the blog page, which is right here. This is what the blog page looks like. And that's not bad. We could import just the blog page using this button, but I want to import the others just because we want to have a complete website. The blog will be the main focus, but the other things are still very important. I'm going to click on Import Complete Site. We choose some settings here. If this is not the first site you're importing and you want to overwrite the old one, choose this option. All these other options you almost always choose because you want to have the settings that make the site look like it does. You want to have the widgets that it uses, and you want to have the content that it uses. And of course, it's going to install the required plugins, which in this case would be Elementor and whatever else they use to create that site. All free. Click on Import. I'm going to let this run. I'm going to pause this video and I will come back when it's imported. Installation is complete. And one important note that it has right here, we try our best to use images that are free from legal perspectives. However, we do not take any responsibility. In other words, replace all the images because you might be importing their site and using their images, and somebody else might claim a copyright on that in the future. So either create your own or make sure you get them from some kind of stock photo site. We can view the site right here, and this is how our site looks. That's how fast it is to import a great looking site. Now you might not be in the health niche, and so you might have chosen a different starter site that isn't health focused, but still has the things we want, which is a blog. If I click on the blog, this is really all we came for. This is the blog homepage where it shows recent posts, and you can click through to any one of the posts and actually read the post itself. And so what we're going to do is convert this blog to the home page, which is a lot easier than it sounds. Let's go to Settings and Reading. And on this page, we can choose which page will be our home page. So I could choose that blog page to be the home page, or I could just choose your latest posts. Let's see how latest posts looks. It'll look a little different than that nice blog home page that we have here, where it has these different boxes laid out in a headline. It'll just show posts. I'm going to Control click to open the home page in a new tab. And here we see just our blog posts. The pictures are a little smaller. There's no sidebar. We're going to fix all those things in a minute. But I think I'm going to keep this as the main home page just to keep things simple. We're trying not to get overwhelmed with how to create these boxes that go exactly halfway across and how to create one that has 3 columns. Those are all good things to add in the future, but we just want to get the blog off the ground and get you creating content and adding it to your website. So we're going to go into Appearance and then Customize. And this is where we can customize a lot of aspects of the site, especially when we're talking about Astra starter sites. We did import the Elementor version of this site. That just means that with Elementor, we can edit things like the home page, about page, programs page, success stories, blog, and contact. We can edit those pages with Elementor, but the blog listing that we see here is going to be entirely done with the customizer. The logo at the top that we see his pencil pop up. That's going to be done in the customizer, which is right here. And the footer looks like it might be done in Elementor. So we'll get to that after we do all the stuff in here. So to change our logo, just go into the header, choose site identity, and upload a new logo. Not hard to do. The hardest part will be making the logo, but all you really need is some kind of icon and some text. It's really that simple. You don't have to spend $1,000 getting your first logo made. You can just go to a stock photo site or stock graphics site and get a logo. I use Envato Elements. So if I go to Theme Forest, I use a bunch of sites actually, but Envato Elements is one of them. And here I could search for icons and we will see, let's go to graphics, icons. We're going to see a whole lot of icons that aren't relevant, but then we'll see some that are very simple and they might be exactly what you need for your logo. Maybe one of these is the right fit for your logo. Maybe, let's see, one of these cats is the right fit for your logo. Who knows? You can download these things. You can take just the part of the image that you want and make that part of your logo. And the reason I'm saying this hacky way might work is because we don't want perfect. We just want to get the first version out the door. We can always improve it later. Changing your logo 2 years from now, unless you're Pepsi, is not going to have a huge impact on your brand. So changing the logo in the future is totally fine. Just get something on there, get some kind of branding, and get it out the door. That's all I want for you at the end of this video. Get the blog at the door, start creating content, which is going to start generating traffic. And with the other videos in this playlist series, you'll be able to then convert that traffic into customers for your online business. Let's focus on that. Logo can come second. So this is where you replace the logo when you do have one that you want to replace it with. The primary header. This is the header setup up here. So we can easily switch our logo to be on top if you like that style, or on the right. Pretty straightforward. We also have mobile layout. If I choose the mobile phone option down here, we see our mobile layout. We can change that to have the logo on top as well. I find that takes up a lot of real estate. I like to have it side by side. And here's the call to action saying with Astra Pro you can have more options. That's nice. We don't need them. Maybe in the future, but not right now. Gonna go back to desktop. We can set how drop-down menus look. We don't have a drop-down menu at the moment, but we can add one pretty easily. Let's go to the dashboard. Go to appearance and menus. And let's just, for the sake of this, put success stories under programs. See how I just drag that over? When I click and drag success stories, it has that dashed box that appears. When that box indents, like so, that becomes a sub-menu item or a drop-down menu. So I'm going to save that menu. I'm going to publish this so we say whatever changes we made. Click on refresh, and the new menu will appear up here. If I hover over programs, we see the drop-down appear, and that's how the drop-down looks. And we can customize that drop-down under header, primary header, primary menu, and then sub-menu. We can change the background color and all these things, but really, this is pretty good. All you want to probably change is the color of the hover to make it match your brand. So let's say your brand is blue. Let's go to global, go to colors, base colors. Our theme color, we're going to change it to, let's see, a nice blue. I like that one. I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to change this one to that as well. Let's delete this and paste in the color hexadecimal code we just copied. And there we have it. It's now blue to match our brand. What's really nice is that these days, less is more for websites. You don't need to have over-the-top design and branding anymore. You do see it, but you don't need it. And if you want to have it, work towards it. Just get your blog online first and get it generating some traffic for you. If our brand color was blue, and let's pretend this logo was blue, we don't have the matching blue in the menus. And the matching blue right here for this information, and matching blue right here. And we change that on our base colors. We could also change the container. So if we didn't want to have a sidebar, we could change the width of this container. Shrinks it right down. Let's go even smaller. They can go down to this small, and we can make this image bigger as well. But now we have our blog just right in the middle. If you don't want a sidebar on this main blog page, this would be great right here. And why is this great? It's because people will come to your blog because your blog posts solve a problem they have. Either they want to be entertained or they have some kind of problem that they want fixed, and your information will help them fix that. They don't really care how it looks as long as it looks clean and it works. And what we see here is it's clean and it works. But we can easily switch to a full width layout if we wanted to, which just means the gray area on the sides is gone and we're back to totally white. Full width contained, full width stretched will extend our content right up to the sides. Probably don't want that. And the content boxed is what we saw earlier, and then just boxed will look like this. Pretty much the same. We can have a page layout if we want. Same option for blog post layout, same options for archive layout. Generally, the default is more than good enough in most cases, but it's easily switched, as you saw. Typography settings allow you to set the typography for the site. Pretty straightforward. You pick a font family, you pick the size, you can pick the weight to make it various degrees of bold if the font allows that. Text transform, you can choose none, capitalize, lowercase, uppercase, line height, paragraph margin bottom. These are all great things to know where they are. But again, what we see right here is more than good enough to get started. You can always add these things later. And I have that playlist I referenced earlier with a complete walkthrough of all the features in Astra. So if you want in-depth knowledge and training on any one of these features that you see here in this list for the free version and the paid version of Astra, check out that playlist. Let's get back to customizing this thing so we get this blog off the ground. Our breadcrumb, this is, if we click into a blog post, the breadcrumb appears somewhere, depends on how it's set. Let's go to inside header. Breadcrumb is right here at the very top. That's not a great spot for it, but it shows basically how people got to this page. The home page and the subpage of uncategorized and then the subpage of this blog post is how they arrived here. They can click back to uncategorized or home, and this category of uncategorized is the default, so we should change that to something better. First, let's find a better spot for our breadcrumbs. We can have it after the header. We can also have it before the title. I'm going to leave it before the title. I'm going to disable it on the home page, disable it on the blog page. I'm going to disable it on all these places except for single post and singular. Now I'm going to publish that to make sure we save our changes, and we're going to change uncategorized to something else. So let's go back into our main site. Let's go to blog posts and categories. This is where we can create categories. I'm going to call this one exercise because that fits in with this website. The slug, which is the URL, the part that's going to be appearing in the address up here sometimes. This is what will appear for this category. Click on add new. We have the exercise category. Let's go to our blog posts. We can click into each one of these and change the category by going to edit and then categories and choose exercise, unselect uncategorized, and then update. And we can also update them in bulk. If we go back to our posts, we can select more than one, go to bulk actions, choose edit, click apply, choose exercise, update. That will add it to the exercise category, but will not remove them from uncategorized. You can do that from here as well though. Go to quick edit, unselect categorized, and update. So that's 3 different ways you can change the categories. But now that we have that changed, when I refresh inside the customizer, we'll see uncategorized change to exercise. We see it here, click into the post, and we see it here. Much better look. That was the breadcrumbs. Let's go to blog, see if I can move these things, because I don't like the links on top and the links down below. That looks a little silly. In here, we can change what metadata appears. We have the title and meta option right here. If we don't want to have that at all, we can just hide it. But then there's no title, and that's not really useful. So you turn that on, and I can turn off the leave comment, category, and author if I want to, and have the meta information completely gone. We also have others we can add, like publish date and tag. Tags are not always used. They're another way to organize your content. Categories can be used to organize your content, and then tags can be used to categorize as well. If you use both categories and tags, it can get confusing pretty quickly. So I'd focus just on using categories first, and for some reason, if you need more categorization in the future, you can use the tags. I'm just going to turn on author and publish date. The leave a comment link, I'm going to keep that off because they could just scroll to the bottom of the page and leave a comment there. So that's fine. I like that how it is. And we are now done customizing the single post. Again, I'm not showing every feature. We're just trying to get this thing out the door. So let's go back out to our main blog, which is on the home. Here's our blog list. And let's go to sidebar. By default, we have no sidebar. The most common place you see a sidebar is on the right-hand side. We see it right here. And we have some demo widgets that were added, and that shrinks down our content area a little more. Let's go back to global, container, and change the width a little bit so we have some more space for our blog content. Here we go. And our sidebar again, let's go into here. We can change our sidebar width if we want, so it can take up less space, or it can take up more space. 30% is pretty common, just under 1/3 of the page. And if you want to customize what's in the sidebar, we go to widgets. Go to main sidebar, and here it has these options that we see on the right. We have search, recent posts, recent comments, archives, categories, and meta. We click on add a widget. Here's all the widget options that we can add in just by clicking. For example, let's see, a gallery. This is a gallery. We can add images by clicking here. Let's go and choose some from the media library. Let's choose some foods. I just clicked on 4, click on create new gallery. You can rearrange them here if you want, or add a caption if you want. It's going to keep it as it is. Click on insert. And now if we scroll down, we see our gallery right here. So that's how easy it is to add a widget. We can also delete widgets. And delete the meta one. Just choose remove, and that will delete whatever widget you removed. You also have the option of getting more widgets by adding plugins to your site. And some themes even include widgets where you can customize this area here with even more theme-specific widgets. A lot of WooCommerce themes have that, where you can add your WooCommerce products to the sidebar if you want. We're not going to worry about that right now. What we're focused on is getting the blog done, because the blog is what's going to make our traffic. We can customize and improve things as we go. So to finish off the sidebar, what I don't love is the gray background. We can use Astra Pro to have a white box around it, or we can use custom CSS. Or to make things easier, I'm just going to change the layout to full width contained. So the things are going to appear in the same spot. It's just now it's going to be a little bit wider and all white background. And then the sidebar doesn't look like it's off in its own world. It looks like it's part of the website. So I'm going to choose that option. We're going to go down to the footer. We have footer options in the customizer, but I don't believe this was created with the customizer. We can see there the footer layout's turned off. So this is an Elementor footer. So let's go back out of here. We are all done in the customizer. Click on publish to make sure we save our changes. Click on the X. It'll take us back to our dashboard. And then we can figure out where the footer is changed for this template. If I go to appearance and header footer blocks, this is created using Astra, and we have a footer block. This little dash Elementor is created with that page builder. Click on edit with Elementor. Anytime it's an Elementor page, you have to edit it with Elementor, otherwise it breaks. An Elementor, if you haven't heard of it, is super simple. It's drag and drop. You can just move things around. If I want this logo on the left, I just drag and drop it onto the left. If I want it smaller, I just go into style and I make it smaller. If I want to put it back, I just put it back. So you can customize all this drag and drop. There's umpteen billion tutorials on YouTube on how to use Elementor. So I'm not going to get into the details of it, but you can easily go into this list of widgets, and they're pretty self-explanatory. You've got the headline, the text, images, videos, buttons. There's also a pro version of Elementor that gives you more widgets. There's thousands of add-ons for Elementor that gives you even more widgets. But to keep things simple and to get this blog out the door, just update what you have and get started. The biggest thing you probably want to update is obviously the text in here. So just click on it. If you want to change the email, there's the email change. Click on the phone number to change the phone number. Click on, this is just text right here, so we can just go to content and change this to whatever it is we want. Click on the image. You can choose a different image, either one that's on the website. Let's choose this happy face, or you can also upload files. Let's just choose that. We've got a new logo here. For the social widgets for Facebook, just click on Facebook and then add your link here. Same for Twitter, Instagram, Yelp. If you don't want those ones, if you don't want Yelp, for example, click on the X. Don't want Instagram, click on the X. If you want other ones, click on add item and just change the logo or the icon. Let's say we want YouTube. Let's add YouTube in there. And now we have YouTube added. It's that simple. This is text as well over here. And the background image is on the section. The section options appear when you hover over a section, you see a big blue box, like I'm outlining here, that outlines the entire area. That is a section. Click on that 6-button icon and go to Style, and we see our background image right here. We can just replace that with a different image that's hopefully equally large, and that's now in the background. Or you can just have no image at all. Just trash the image, just have a solid color background, which is more than functional. When you're all done, click on Update. And now if we go out to our website and refresh the page, we now have our updated blog. Pretty straightforward. So that's the home page now, is the blog. The About page is laid out like this. You can, if you're just creating a blog and you're just generating traffic, you could just delete these pages for now. There's no reason you have to have them when you first start out. What I want you to do is start generating traffic. There's so many people who first want to create their products and they first want to do X, Y, and Z before they start worrying about their traffic. And then they say to themselves, I'm just going to pay for traffic. I'll just buy ads later. And that's fine too, if you can make those ads profitable, which is actually quite hard to do. And you have to have a pretty good amount of budget to make them profitable, because a lot of testing that goes into it. There's a lot of ads that you run that don't do anything, that make you $0, which is a great investment in your learning of the ads, but it's not great when you're on a budget. So what you want to do, in my opinion, is create content on a blog and places like YouTube. YouTube being the second largest search engine in the world, Google being the second largest. What you want is to create content that appears in those search engines and starts growing your traffic. And once you start generating traffic and you start building an audience, then you can worry about providing extra value to them in the form of courses or consulting or coaching or whatever it is you want to sell. You can focus on that once you have the people there who want to buy it. Doing it now does not serve you. Focus on creating content that will generate traffic over the long term. That serves you. Everything else you can add in later, because the time you spend building your product right now is time wasted. So what I'm going to do to keep this just super simple, I'm going to deactivate the About page, Programs page, Success Stories, Blog, and Contact, because the blog is now the home page. So I'm going to go into our pages, and I'm going to select all of them except for, you know what, the home page is actually an Elementor page. It's actually being overwritten. I'm going to edit all of these and change them to draft. Where's, there it is, status, draft, update. And then I'm going to go to appearance and menus, and I'm going to change the main menu to be just the blog. So this is our top navigation. I'm just going to leave that as it is. I'm going to create a new menu, and I'm going to call this just blog navigation. Click on create menu, and all it is going to be a custom link. Let's call it the blog, and it's going to be a custom link just to the home page. Add to menu, save it. Now we have to go into the customizer and add that as the menu for our site. We're going to go down here and click on menus, and we're going to choose top navigation, and I will uncheck primary menu. I'll go back to our blog navigation, and then I will check primary menu, and then click on publish. Come back out here and refresh. We have just the blog, and that is the only page that's now accessible on our site, the blog and whatever blog posts we have. And now for all intents and purposes, our blog is done. If you followed along, you've changed your logo to something else. You've changed the main color to something that matches your main color. And we're going to delete all these posts, and then you'll be creating your own content that's going to go here. To delete these posts, you just go into the dashboard of your website, go to posts, and just select them all, move to trash, and apply. And now, come out here and refresh. All those posts are gone. You can start adding your own posts. To do that, you just go to posts, add new, you add a headline. This is the title of the page, and you start adding content. This is with the Gutenberg editor. You may have heard that you can use the classic editor, which is the old version of WordPress. A lot of people still like that version better. I prefer to use Gutenberg because it's the future, so I might as well get used to it now. But you can start typing in your content here and create your post. And those will then appear on this page after you click publish on the post. And then you can start generating traffic. Long-term free traffic, as long as you're doing your keyword research right. We'll get into that in this tutorial series as well. Over the next set of videos, we're going to add enhancements to our blog, like Google Analytics to start tracking our traffic, like adding a landing page with an opt-in form connected to MailChimp so we can start building our mailing list. We're going to do A/B split testing on that opt-in page to make sure the conversions are as high as they can possibly be. We're going to secure our site. We're going to make sure our site is fast. We're going to do all these things, and then we're going to have a solid framework for a site that we can use to start generating traffic, start generating an audience, creating an audience. And then once we have an audience, as in once we have traffic and people are opting in, we can start thinking about monetizing. And then we're going to talk about adding AdSense to your site to start generating traffic through ads on your pages. And once you have traffic and start building an audience, you can also market your products to them. Maybe you're selling courses or coaching or services or whatever it is you're selling, whatever value you're providing in exchange for money, you can start putting that in front of people who could be interested in it once you have traffic and an audience. This is, in my opinion, way better than paying for ads, because with ads, you have to pay for them. You also have to invest a lot in your ads before they become profitable. You have to invest a lot in your blog content as well. It's also not free. It either costs you time if you're doing it yourself or money if you're outsourcing, but it is long term. If you turn your ads off, you stop paying for your ads, that ad stops bringing you traffic. Once the blog post is written and you've paid for it, either with your time or with money, if you hired an outsourcer, that blog post, if it's targeting a great topic and it ranks well, that will bring you traffic for a long, long time. So your ROI is potentially far greater if you can convert that traffic into a customer or into an ad click on your site. So that's the game plan over the next set of videos, and you can find all of them in that playlist right up there. So click on that playlist, bookmark it, watch it religiously, because we're going to go through building a site that is successful from start to finish. And if you haven't done so yet, make sure to click subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss any future videos. My name is Bjorn Allpass from WP Learning Lab, and until next time, keep crushing it, and I will see you in the next video.